let me talk a little bit about the Latino students. Obviously, I'm here with NALEO. I'm on the board of NALEO, but I'm from El Salvador. This is the community that I serve, the community that elects me, and the community that is so needy. And as you all, I'm sure there isn't a single person in the room that hasn't heard the big news of the census. Hispanics are everywhere, growing, multiplying, and everywhere. Which is, it's good. If I could turn those numbers into direct political power, it'd be wonderful, but we're not quite there yet. So what does that mean in terms of education? Well, I think it's very, very important to understand what it means. Not only are Latinos everywhere, but they're young. 1 in 4 of our school kids is a Latino student. Now, that is something that I think as a nation, we're still having trouble wrapping our arms around, our mind around, because there are still very, very strong forces that would deny that there's even an existence of a large Latino community. And even if they recognize this, they say they're not of us. We need to treat them differently. If we do, then they'll all go home. Well, I really, really doubt that, because most of them are now U.S. citizens, and they are here and here to stay. So this, I think, is something that it's important for us to understand, that the future of this nation, that workforce, it's not too much to say that it is indeed going to be largely what we do with our Latino students that is going to ensure that we do continue the economic progress and the well-being. We cannot progress as a nation if we continue having the status quo. And that is my next point, just down, that there are a lot of Latinos, but it's not good news. We're not doing well. Our students are doing very poorly. Very, very low graduation rates, very low continuous attainment of college, associate college degrees. All of these have very severe consequences in the long run, and I would say in the short run, for this country. The special needs of ELL students, though not every Latino student is an ELL student, there is a large number of, a significant portion of students that are English language learners. Now, we had, for example, here in Montgomery County, the great news about 20 years ago that ELL students were U.S. born. Well, they're born of families here, but at home they're speaking here primarily Spanish, but they actually do speak more than 130 languages, what do we have here? 150, I think is what this is. But that means that their language development, those early years of language development, is in another language, and without all the enrichment that is necessary to arrive to kindergarten or to school with as an equal language development. Though they may be absolutely fluent in English, all of those additional supports that comes from reading books in English and from having those enriched conversations is not necessarily there for them. So they're starting back. Because there are so many Spanish speakers in our classrooms, you get a big bang for the buck if you begin there. One of the red herrings I always heard is Montgomery County has over 120 languages. How are we going to have teachers and material in all those languages? No. You use the 80-20 rule. You go for the big bang on the bucks. And we still haven't done that. We still are at that debate of the red herring. So trying to focus then on the teacher quality. There isn't a single argument that the most important factor in a child's education is having a qualified teacher. It's 12 years. It's a long process. And every year that child is going to have an opportunity to learn and be positive in a positive experience, or can be getting expectations that are lower, that can be getting less than what that child needs to keep up and be able to develop fully for those 12 years. So some of the very specific things that I want to raise about teacher preparation is that we have to look at it not in simple, let's pull out these kids and give them 10, 15 minutes of English preparation. That's disastrous. And that has been really the model, the pull-out programs that we've used. But they have to have, the teachers must be fully prepared linguistically, culturally, pedagogically to deal with a diversity of languages. We saw the worst example, I think, of what can happen in Arizona, and it's still happening. 4 hours pull out, doesn't matter who, as long as the teacher's there, has no training in teaching these kids, 4 hours every day. And they are not allowed then to go to classes where content is. Now, you wonder why they're not graduating. Well, they're not being taught. We must ensure that that is absolutely prohibited and criminal. I would make it a felony for anyone who does that. We need to have environments that are integrated, interdisciplinary, because Latinos and ELL students, it's a heterogeneous group. It's experiences of all types. So we have to be able to have the flexibility to ensure that the teachers are well trained. And not only in English, it has to be integrated in every single subject. All teachers must have this training, and it must be in all subjects. Require then the in-service instruction opportunities so that teachers who are there now that maybe have not had an opportunity to learn are given the opportunities, that it's important. States that, for example, have passed laws that says that every teacher in a highly diverse school should be getting training on an ongoing basis. And then finally, just making sure that you're involving not just the federal discussion in Washington, but that you do involve us as partners at the state and the local levels. That has to be something that, if it's not clearly stated in the reauthorization, you see what happens. States and locals will do whatever they damn please, and it's not serving our kids. So thank you very, very much.